Today we are ranking UK rivalries, and I know for a fact that I'm probably going to be disappointing you. That's not a first, is it? Can I just point out how many rivalries there actually are in this country, because I've probably missed out your club, so I apologise. If we can smash 1,000 likes on this video, then I'll do a European version. We're going to be giving a mouse a little squiggle, and I'm not going to be looking, and we're going to go on Bristol City versus Bristol Rovers. Okay, that's actually massive. I want to put this in massive hatred, but the competition we've got around, I think I'm going to put it in big hatred. Whenever I go to Bristol Rovers, they talk about how much they hate Bristol City. When I go to Bristol City, they talk about how much they hate Bristol Rovers. A city rivalry, there's big hatred. I'd love to visit this fixture in the future whenever this may happen. We are relying on the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Come on, bring us a good one. Let's go to Scotland with the Dundee derby, and I really want to put this in massive hatred after experiencing it myself. It's a massive toss-up here because it was so good. I think that's a good thing about me doing this tier list too. I've been to so many of these rivalries on this list that I think I can give a true reflection as to where these should be ranked. Dundee United behind the goal, setting off the Pyros. You got the Dundee fans just to the side. It was incredible and a great stadium. I think it's a great ground for a rivalry for this to happen, and let's not forget here, the two grounds are separated by about 100 metres. It's a joke. But the scenes when Dundee scored, the scenes at full time, you can sense what it really means. Let's go to Wigan versus Bolton, and this is a fixture I've been to. Wigan won 4-0. But I'm going to say I wasn't so impressed. I'm not doubting that the fans have hatred, but I think as an experience, I'm going to have to say it's alright. I want to say Bolton's main rivalry is Bury, and they're in the 8th tier. But when I went to this fixture, I wasn't so impressed, so I'm going to say it's alright. I want to get Tottenham versus Arsenal out of the way, because I've experienced this myself, 4-2, and that was big. Do you know what? I think out of every Premier League rivalry, in the top 6, shall we say, the big 6, I think that is definitely the biggest and the best rivalry. A lot of people may think, oh, that's just a touristy derby. No, not for me. When I was there, it really wasn't. The overall atmosphere, the animosity before, outside the ground, inside the ground, I was very, very surprised. So from experience, I'm going to say North London derby, 100% big hatred. West Ham versus Millwall. Do we need to even give this an introduction? I wish Millwall just get promoted. West Ham get relegated. Everyone wants this fixture. Honestly, when was the last time these two played? 2012 was the last time they played. Oh my word. I can only wish for police all the best if this fixture does happen. Man City versus Man United. I really want to put this on tourist. I'm really want to do it. If this fixture was at Man United, I'd say it's more touristy, and Man City, in all fairness, from what I see on the telly, watching it, and I feel like when I see fan experiences from this fixture, I sense Man City at the Etihad, it can sometimes be a lot more better than at Man United. I don't think too many people away from West Brom or Wolves had too much of an idea of how much animosity is in this fixture until they face and you realise what happened. It's crazy. That is for sure one of the biggest rivalries in the UK, no question. Can we just get one out of the way here, which I've just seen? Chelsea versus Fulham. Let's get that one out of the way. It's irrelevant. No one cares. For the Fulham fans, I'm sure it means a lot, but I'm just going to move on. Controversially, I'm going to be putting Norwich versus Ipswich, the East Anglian derby, in hatred. I went to the game at Carrow Road and I went to the game at Portman Road, and in all honesty, I think it's a game full of handbags, genuinely. They hate each other, do not get me wrong. Is it in big hatred or massive hatred though? I don't think so if you compare these fixtures. I was watching the Norwich fans walk down to Portman Road, and I must say, it was just full of handbags. It's a bit weird for me as I live near Lowestoft, so I'm kind of like Suffolk, near the Norfolk border, so I'm like in the divide a little bit, so I always see Norwich and Ipswich fans everywhere. However, I am going off experience, me being there, and that is in hatred. Portsmouth versus Southampton. That is a fixture I cannot wait for this season. Will I get a ticket? Probably not. But look, this fixture is going in massive hatred. These two despise each other. When the EFL fixtures get released on Wednesday, this will be the fixture these sets of supporters will be looking out for first. West Ham, Millwall, Wolves, West Brom, Portsmouth, Southampton. I think I am happy with what I'm doing so far. Blackpool versus Preston. Another fixture which I've been to. Funny that. I think a lot of people, when they do these tier lists, they haven't actually been to about half of these, whereas actually me, I look at this and I've been to about half of these fixtures already. This is why I feel I can give a true reflection as to where these fixtures should be. And I thought Blackpool versus Preston is amazing. I'm going to say big hatred. It was at Deepdale. Preston won. I thought it was a fantastic occasion, a sellout stadium. It was massive. It was great. You can sense it before the game how much this fixture means, and during the game, the animosity in the stands, the celebrations, you can sense what it means, and it was amazing. The Steel City derby, Sheffield Wednesday versus Sheffield United. I've been to that fixture and I thought that was really good. Massive hatred or big hatred? Oh, I tell you what, before the game, it was spicy, actually. It was good. This is a tough one. I'm going to say big hatred. Controversially, people might think I should have put that in massive hatred. When I compare the atmosphere pre-match leading up to the referee blowing his whistle to then him blowing the whistle and the atmosphere afterwards was quite disappointing. But when Sheffield United did score, that's when the crowd and the atmosphere did explode. It was amazing. It was a great occasion. When you think of the classic UK rivalries, you think of the Steel City derby, and that's why I'm putting it in big hatred. Colchester versus Southend. I would love to see this fixture happen. happen, the Essex derby. I mean, I'm putting that in big hatred. This means everything to the supporters. When this happens, I think it will be amazing. I just want Southend to get promoted so this fixture can happen, to be honest. Manchester United versus Liverpool, the big rivalry in this country, as a lot say. Where do I put this one? And yet again, I've been there, I've done it, I've experienced it. It was very touristy. It's expected though, isn't it, for a game like this? This fixture means everything for these die-hard supporters, but I think what the Premier League is becoming is pretty touristy, let's be honest here. I'm ranking all of this as a fan experience. Imagine you being at these games. And I just think Man United Liverpool is in hatred. Okay, it'll be a good game, maybe a good atmosphere, but I don't think it's going to be at the level of Portsmouth, Southampton. It's not going to be at the level of Wolves versus West Brom, is it? It might be controversial, but I've been there myself. I'm putting on hatred. Sunderland versus Newcastle, just getting massive hatred already. The fact we get 2 games this season at the Stadium of Light at St James's Park is incredible for the Premier League. For the supporters, it means everything. Obviously, recently they had the FA Cup tie, I think 2 years ago. Newcastle won that fixture, so Sunderland are looking for revenge. Birmingham versus Aston Villa, that can go in massive hatred too. I mean, do we need to talk about this one after what happened at St Andrews? It doesn't need an introduction. What happened last time was disgusting, don't get me wrong, but it was an element of the hatred these two clubs have for each other. Birmingham, spend all the money you want this season, get promoted, because every neutral fan wants to see this fixture happen. Rotherham versus Doncaster, I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about it, so I'm just going to say, I want to say irrelevant because I don't really know too much about it, because I'm not very knowledgeable on this fixture, if I'm honest. Plymouth versus Exeter, there's massive hatred there, but is it massive enough to be in the massive tier though? That's the question. I'm going to say big hatred, but there's room to go into that massive hatred, and I'd love to experience it this season. That's definitely on the list for me to go to. At Exeter, at Plymouth, one of the two, maybe both. Who knows? I'd love to go to this. Grimsby versus Scunthorpe, I'm going to put that in big hatred. I don't think it's enough for me to put in massive hatred, but I'd love to see this fixture happen in the next few years. Let's see if either Grimsby get relegated or Scunthorpe get promoted again after their promotion last year from the 6th tier to the 5th. So they're one promotion away. Location-wise, they are very close, and for the bragging rights, I mean, no one wants to lose this. Cheltenham versus Forest Green. I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about that one either. I mean, if you're not a Cheltenham or a Forest Green fan, I don't think too many fans will care. Like this one I'm going to be saying now. Brighton versus Palace, right? I can't believe how much slander this one gets. And I can understand it in some way. If you're not a Brighton or a Palace fan, you don't really understand what this fixture means to these supporters. I understand it, and that goes for probably any of these. As you can see from the list, as I've already said, I've been to so many of these rivalries. But Brighton Palace, and I am not even joking when I say this, is probably one of the most police fixtures I have seen out of all of these. Just to clarify, I have not been to Birmingham, Aston Villa, I've not been to Sunderland, Newcastle, I've not been Portsmouth, Southampton, I've not been Wolves, West Brom, I've not been to West Ham, Millwall. It's probably not on the level of that, don't get me wrong. The disrespect this fixture has is mind-blowing to me. Like, if you want to know what the meaning is behind this fixture, just look it up. Everyone keeps playing off like it's a motorway derby, it's an Eagles versus Seagulls thing, it's a bird rivalry. Just do your research about it. Why are they rivals if Crystal Palace are South London and Brighton are down south? I mean, just do your research, search it up. I really want to put this in massive hatred, and you know, no, I am. Like, I'm a fan myself. I know how much this means. I never want Brighton to lose to Palace, and the fact that we've lost twice in this season, they've won the FA Cup, it's disgusting. Honestly, obviously, if you're not a Brighton Palace fan, you're not going to appreciate it. I understand it. No one will appreciate it, so I'm just going to move on. But from experience, that is up there. That's all I'm going to say. I don't like how Burnley, Blackburn, Blackpool, Preston are all taking over this tier list over here. Blackpool versus Blackburn. I'm just going to say hatred on that one because I think Blackpool's main rivalries is Preston. Last year, Preston versus Burnley was a tasty one, so I'm going to put that in big hatred. Rangers versus Celtic. That is, if not the biggest UK rivalry there is. Hearts versus Hibernian. These two despise each other like anything else. The Edinburgh derby. That is going in massive hatred. I'd love to experience that one day. Oxford versus Swindon. I'm going to say it's alright, but I genuinely think there's a lot more hatred than I'm going to be expressing right now. I don't think too many people away from these clubs kind of know that this is a big rivalry. So for myself, I've not experienced it, so I'm going to say it's alright. However, I'm sure it's one of them EFL fixtures that when I go and attend, it will definitely bolster the rankings. Blackburn versus Burnley. That is going in massive hatred. That is like the big one in the northwest, if you ask me. It's a Lancashire derby. These are two very passionate supporters, and especially when it comes to this fixture, Burnley winning it at Ewood Park, by the way. Imagine your rivals winning the league at your grounds. I mean, that's just, that's awful. Port Vale versus Stoke. I mean, that goes in big hatred, if you ask me. It's one of those where when this fixture happens, my word, will you hear about it. It will be a belter of an experience. Derby versus Nottingham Forest. That's also big hatred too. Massive hatred. I remember always watching that game on TV. I think like it was always the one in the Championship. I was always switching on and watching when it was on. Luton versus Watford. Again, big hatred again. I mean, a lot of it is in big hatred because I just don't think it quite crosses the line to be in massive hatred. MK Dons versus Wimbledon. I've experienced this myself, and don't get me wrong, it was at MK Dons. I would love to experience this at AFC Wimbledon. However, they have just got promoted, and I saw the scenes last year when they did beat him. It looked incredible, and I feel like the experience there would be so much more better. 100% better than playing at a 20,000 empty bowl, let's put it that way. This one's going in big hatred. I think these two hate each other, there's no doubts. Tottenham versus Chelsea, I'm just going to say it's alright. Probably is it touristy now? Nah, I'm going to say it's alright. I'm just going to quickly bolster it up. The Lancashire derby, Blackburn versus Preston, that's going in big hatred. Any of those in the northwest always seems to be so good, and I'd love to experience any of them. I've experienced a few, but I still think there's room to experience a bit more. Everton versus Liverpool is always a massive one in my eyes. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the proximity between the grounds of Anfield and Goodison, and it's a shame. If you ask me, I prefer Goodison over the new stadium any day of the week. I think any football fan should surely agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, then I'd be a bit surprised. The Goodison Park Stadium is literally the true reflection of English football. That is what an English football stadium should be. Don't get me wrong, the Hill Dickinson Stadium looks quite decent, and Brighton will be the first team to actually play there in the Premier League. However, I think for tradition, I will always prefer Goodison Park. But when I go there, I will find out. Cardiff versus Swansea, that is going in massive hatred. These two despise each other. I would love to visit this fixture in the future. Cardiff going down doesn't help that situation, though, does it? And I'll tell you what, we've been a bit too keen because we've got Cardiff, Swansea and West Ham Millwall twice on here. We'll move on. So we are going to be ending it on the Cambridgeshire derby. Cambridge United versus Peterborough United. Oh wow, this one really did surprise me, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of you guys as well. I think it was 21 years since they last played each other a few years ago, and I just cannot believe the passion, the meaning, the animosity this fixture truly has. Walking down Peterborough Town Centre, it was all kicking off, pyros being thrown left, right and centre, people scrapping for goodness sake. It was incredible. It was an experience, and I think the Cambridgeshire derby for arrests is up there in like the top 10 for the most arrests for an English football rivalry. That just explains it all, doesn't it? When that first fixture happened for the first time in 21 years, it was a real eye-opener for me of how much it meant. And that for me, and what I've said and what I've experienced, it's going in massive hatred. That is absolutely massive. I've been looking at this tier list now, and I feel like I need to add another category, the dog's bollocks, right? So when you think about the top UK rivalries, I think these should be up there. Sunderland Newcastle, West Ham Millwall, Wolves West Brom, Portsmouth Southampton, Birmingham Aston Villa, the Old Firm derby. I am ready for everyone to absolutely slate me for these opinions, but I've experienced about 50% of these. Genuinely, I'm going off my own experience here. So now that I've got that extra category, I feel like it's separated it quite well, and I'm quite happy with it. Comment down below which rivalries you would want me to change on this tier list, and I know that I'm not going to be pleasing everyone. I am going off my personal experience, and I've said that about 10 times already now. Look at this, what do you think? Comment down below, leave a like, subscribe. If you want a European rivalry version, then let me know down in the comment section. 1,000 likes and I'll do just so. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys later. This has been an experience. You're not going to be happy.